I've been asked about what, if any, redistribution of wealth would I be in favor of as governor. As I think you know, I am not a fan of forcing redistribution of any wealth. Usually when it's ending up done unfairly. It's almost always done by group instead of by individual who might be more deserving and denying those who are undeserving. Private donations do it far better. They can be surgical in who they help and how much they help, and they end up with a grateful to the benefactor recipient. Recipients don't tend to be grateful to government programs. They can't be. They get a check from an anonymous agency. And that's a shame, because when whether it's a check or personal help from a real human who's lent a helping hand or opened up her wallet, you have something that helps all of us. You have gratitude. You have probably more reason to pay back the favor yourself. You did something nice for me. I'm going to do something nice for somebody else. That happens in private. It doesn't happen often enough with public funding. So I am still going to give a private endorsement to one group of recipients. To the extent you are open-minded enough with your wallet or your time, the group that is generally very deserving is young mothers. They have it really tough, especially if they have to work outside the home, because their work inside the home often takes 30 to 40 hours a week right there. And if they're single mothers, it's brutal. So to the extent that there's help from you available to a friend, first off, but maybe even a stranger, make individual assessments. Who's good among the young moms? What charities actually help deserving young moms, and maybe you can help them. Let me give you two ways to help without the monetary aspect. It might be you're an employer who can make it easier on the young mom to do work and take care of her kids. Flex time, work from home at times, projects that still elevate her in her workplace, still can allow for promotion without being thought of as less. Another thing is not the employer, but grandma, grandpa, who over the last 80 years have been marginalized. As we've gotten richer and older people can afford separate living, we've lost something that's very valuable to mothers and to grandchildren. We've lost the wisdom and the energy and often the caring of a grandparent who's around a lot. I would like to encourage that return. Call that a Walton's type return. Say what you want about the 30s economically, but in terms of wholesomeness, we probably had a sturdier America than we have ever since World War II and the wealth that came since it. Young moms raise our kids. Now, I'm not saying our in terms of, oh, the village, but there are, in this way, 20 years from now, they're the ones who are going to be paying our Social Security. Well, if it exists. They're the ones who are going to be laboring for our help. They're going to, for our benefit, I should say. They're the ones who are going to be inventing stuff. And you can't call me wrong here. If you're 80 or over and watching this on any sort of device, thank someone who was in their 40s and 30s and younger to be making these wonderful devices that would not have been invented by only an older generation. So to that extent, moms now raise our kids. They are our nation's assets. Let me finalize with state action. State action, I can do two things, and I promise if the legislature allows my control of schools to require meetings with teachers outside the workday, I will do so. Moms who are jeopardized by taking off during their 9 to 6 work period have it tough. They often can't go to school to meet with teachers or help in a kids' festival that they want to see. So have those teacher meetings occasionally available in the evenings or on Saturdays. How's that? Private schools do this. My public schools need to as well. Finally, for especially working families, and by the way, I'm a candidate for the Working Family Party nomination here in Connecticut. If they're true to what they call themselves, they will be very open-minded and receptive to a lot of my proposals. If you have a voucher to help put, yes, some state money into the right provider's hands, you go and empower yourself. Instead of empowering agencies directly, which is based on bureaucratic politics, instead, let these women decide themselves. Armed with a small voucher, it's not going to be big, but with it, they have the choice. I always want choice over command. This kind of choice helps the people that are often most in jeopardy. Thank you.